Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Sarah Leggett. I'm from the Sarlo Nation on my mom's side, and I'm Simshian from Loch Lomond on my dad's side, as well as Scottish and Norwegian ancestry.
Hello again. I'm Erica. I'm of settler ancestry, primarily from Slovenia, Ireland, and Norway. I'm really grateful to be here. I am the quality assurance lead with SIA, and I think so we were creating this video series. This is number 4. This is about the purpose of our law. It's a pretty short section, and so we also wanted to add a little fun element for those who watch these videos to, I don't know, get to understand who is making these videos, who is Sarah and myself in a fun way. So to do that today, we decided to share the story about actually how we met, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. So in our past work experiences, we both worked with Indigenous children and youth, and just randomly we both ended up having the opportunity to go to what was kind of like a culturally immersive camp. So we had the opportunity to go to Alert Bay, and then from Alert Bay we were going to Hada, which, if you look on the map, is Bond Sound, where we were going to go by boat to this cultural immersive camp, and we were bringing with us youth that we worked with. And then when we arrived, the weather was, kind of being typical West Coast, and arrangements were made for us to go on a helicopter with the youth that we worked with. Erica and I have never been on a helicopter. So it was a really great trauma bonding experience for us. We ended up getting on the helicopter and it being a wonderful experience. And then we spent, I think it was like 5 days in Hada, sleeping communally, participating ceremony, language, learning about, yoga, and then taking, trips and walks among like the old growth forest, and going for a river bath, and things like that. So it was just like this wonderful experience, and we had come across each other prior to this, but just somehow ended up in Alert Bay together, and then went on our first helicopter ride, and then had, for me, a huge, life impacting experience of being on this traditional territory, with these wonderful, beautiful people that work at Hada. I feel so grateful for that experience. And that's kind of how we met. And then somehow we both ended up here together. And yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to Nowlock. If you folks haven't heard of it, definitely Google it. They're doing some really amazing work up there. And if you ever want to bond with someone, I suppose, just like take a helicopter trip and you'll see the little selfie. I don't know where I'm pointing right now because we haven't added the photo yet, but like we're looking all smiley there, but I think I was crying along the way and like holding Sarah's hand and be like, and then like the helicopter pilot also, he was trying to, I think, be cool for the kids because he's like, oh, check this out, I can like tilt the helicopter, and I was like, I'm going to pee my pants and I don't want to do that.
And then I remember there's like a cage outside of the helicopter, and that's where we put like our bags. So I had like a duffel bag, and like there's nothing, it's just like it's a cage, like it's not closed off. So I just remember seeing my duffel bag zipper not completely closed and it flapping in the wind and just praying that nothing of mine flies out of this bag and end up who knows where. But I remember being so stressed about that. But what was beautiful is when we did land in the helicopter, those who work came out and welcomed us to the territory with a song and drum, and it was one of the most moving experiences, and that's what they did to everyone that arrived to the camp, and it was really beautiful. But yeah, the helicopter ride was terrifying. We had no cell service, and then we're in the air and then had cell service, and it was the most interesting experience. But yeah, that's how we met.
Fun fact. And now we're going to go into the purpose of our law. Thank you for that little side side tangent, I suppose. So, purpose of the law, it's pretty short. It's actually very short. And really, it's like outlining, it's giving the framework after we've gone through those other sections of why do we have this law, which then we go into in depth for another 30 pages of why we have this law. But this is just, it's like if you're writing an essay, this is the topic sentence or the topic sentence in your paragraph where, like, we are addressing this, 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 and this. So that's what we have in the purpose statement.
So 4.1.1 outlines the purpose of the law. So A is to support, strengthen, and heal the families, the communities, the children within these communities by nurturing each child and family's cultural identity. And then B is also the purpose of the law is to affirm our member nations' inherent right of self-government. So, that's within accordance of the member nation's beliefs, teachings, and this also includes the jurisdiction and responsibility to provide child and family services to the children and family members of the member nations, in addition to indigenous guests on these territories.
We also, number C, which we've already, letter C, that we've already gone through in video number 2, the guiding principles. We say that our purpose is to set out principles applicable to the provision of child and family services for those who this law provides. So we've set out our guiding principles. Number D, this is kind of technical, is establishing the South Island Indigenous Authority and like our various councils that we have created and constructed in our governance structure and in our service delivery structure to put action to this law. And so within a law, you kind of, it's just this legal term of like, you have to establish them. So a section in this law, which we'll go into later, is like the South Island Indigenous Authority is established. And so it's just saying like, this exists. You're bringing these things into legal existence by saying it in this law. And similar with our representative council, Council of Indigenous Guests, Youth and Elders Council, you have to establish them. And that's our purpose. 4 quick little statements there.
All right. So that is the end of this video. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us to learn more about the law. Please ensure to check out our website. Follow us on social media. We like to post videos on TikTok. And if anyone has any questions, our contact info is on the website. So please feel free to reach out to us. We can also, provide some printed versions of the law. Just feel free to reach out to us.
Yes, please. If you have questions or even like, hey, I didn't understand what you said in this other video you made, we're more than happy to just continue to have these conversations. I think both of us are a little nervous as we're recording videos, but happy to have in-person conversations, and our team is always willing to do that as well. So stay in touch, as I'm gonna maybe butcher this, but this is for my Sinchothan homies out there, Kwananan Sinsa, which I think means we will see each other again. So we'll see you again in our next video on authority and jurisdiction.